Welcome back to another episode of BakuTalk Analysis. Today we're going to be analyzing a thesis that is Phantom Thief Calloway Storm being an underrated character.
When it comes to Bakugan, they have a lot of characters, and one that I was particularly fascinated by in the second season of the show was definitely Phantom Thief Storm. When I say underrated characters, that can apply to a lot of characters. Heck, sometimes a lot of the minor characters seem like they have no character at all and just thrown in there for the sake of an episode. Even the recurring ones like Chad and Chester, or Curran, or hell, even those security force grunts. But describing an underrated character is one that gets used a lot, has a ton of character and work done, and appears with a lot of fascination that they just never touched on. And Jesus Christ, does Phantom Thief Storm have so much things that they never touched on. So many things about him that they just never used to its full potential. So much mythos, backstory, and lore that they had on the palm of their hand they never did anything with. How they let a character like Storm that had some of the coolest Bakugan, a charismatic personality, and probably one of the most deep and interesting villains just slip by is beyond me. So, you want to know why I think Calloway Storm, one of Bakugan's most arguably great characters, is so, pun intended, criminally underrated?
Well, sit back and relax and let's try to convince you. This is Phantom Thief Calloway Storm.
To bring you up to speed with the lore behind Storm, he is, as described, a Phantom Thief, a popular type of stock character in many works of fiction. In the West, they are referred to as gentleman thieves because of how well-mannered, courteous, and avoiding using violence or brute force to get what they want.
I'm a Phantom Thief. I am not a petty robber who uses brute force.
And most of the time they rob not just for the sake of getting rich, but because for the thrill of robbing or appreciating the art. And in Storm's case, it's for the sake of appreciating the art.
I am the only person who can truly understand its beauty. It's only right for me to possess it.
When we get introduced to Storm, Ajit is his apprentice because he rescued Ajit when he was little and adopted him. His first real appearance was in French Fire Wars when he wasn't even shown but teased in a mysterious way.
Farrell, what are they doing anyway?
Come, Ajit. We're leaving.
Storm's voice actor is Josh Graham, who also does the voices for other characters, notably Everett Ray and very recently Falcron in Bakugan Rising. But part of what distinguishes Storm from everyone else is really his British accent, which I feel is a clever touch, not only suiting his character, but also making sure he doesn't sound exactly like Everett. And honestly, I have a lot of praise to Josh's performance in this role. I'd probably argue that Storm is his best performance that he's done in the series by far. I mean, hell, since Everett and Storm make up 50% of Team Havoc, he's practically carried the villain team on his back. I truly mean it when I say when Josh puts on Storm's voice, it is very damn convincing. It's charming, it's demanding, intimidating, courteous, and I was never at all bored watching Storm. So I think casting Josh Graham was a good choice. But there are three main things about Storm that really not only makes him a very good character, but also a very good villain.
Well, for one thing, and this is probably something that you probably recognize if you watched Armored Alliance, his direct relationship with our main heroes.
A thing about making a foil for the main heroes is a lot of the times the relationship between the feuding parties is a pretty important aspect. Believe it or not, Storm has more of a relationship with the team than any of the other villains in this season, with the runner-up being McHugh. Storm's relationship with Ajit and their story was a long-standing narrative throughout the season, starting with Ajit being extremely loyal to Storm, but slowly breaking away when meeting the Awesome Brawlers and struggling with the choice between being a Bakugan Brawler or a Phantom Thief, essentially choosing between Storm and the Awesome Brawlers. This storyline directly consequences the Awesome Brawlers because of Ajit's association with Storm. Storm steals their Bakugan at the end of the Battle League, Storm joins up with Havoc, hell, Storm opposes even Magnus. Not only that, but more importantly, Storm and Ajit's feud is directly personal. That's why every encounter that they have in the season feels emotional and, well, personal. Storm is raising Ajit to become like him. He wants Ajit to become a great Phantom Thief just like him one day, something that Ajit even seems like he wants as well. But Ajit, after discovering Bakugan and even the benefits of friendship by hanging around with the Awesome Brawlers, wants to become a Bakugan Brawler instead of a Phantom Thief. It was at the Bakugan Battle League that was really the breaking point for Storm and Ajit's relationship, where Storm in desperation blackmails Ajit to commit to the Phantom Thief life because that is the only life he truly knows and believes Ajit will be happy with, while Ajit wants wants to be his own person. It all breaks down from there, and that's why whenever they have an encounter, it's because the fight is inevitable. There is no words or compromise that will change each other's minds, so the battle has to happen because their motivations are extremely personal. Inside each character, Storm really wants to believe that he can change Ajit's mind, but at the same time, while under the control of Havoc, he wants to punish Ajit for what he feels is betrayal. Ajit doesn't want to fight his father figure at first, but another arc he takes down the season is letting Storm go. Even Leah didn't seem to trust Ajit at first because Ajit reflects on everything that Storm has given him. Ajit wants to keep believing that Storm is a good person, but has to stop him because stealing and then destroying things is wrong. Seeing both of their ideals go head to head is deep and conflicting drama. And what is actually still fascinating about the story is that Storm and Ajit have a philosophical conflict. It's Bakugan. Clearly, Storm cannot know or form an attachment to Bakugan. In fact, he sees Bakugan as either artwork or tools to help him destroy things. Ajit, though, sees Bakugan as friends, and everything about them, including battling, should be treated with respect. Bakugan is their philosophical conflict that drives their motivations to fight each other. And as a result of them fighting each other, the consequence is that Ajit has involved the other Awesome Brawlers. Storm is brainwashed and is helping Havoc destroy the world. As far as anyone else is concerned, Havoc and the other Awesome Brawlers are actually a consequence to the fighting. It has caused Storm to help nearly destroy Tokyo. Storm leads Team Havoc to endanger the Awesome Brawlers. Storm helped Havoc capture Pyravian, and Storm helped Havoc nearly destroy the world. So, believe it or not, Storm having a direct relationship with our main heroes was what makes him a good villain. It's philosophically driven, it's personal, it's created consequences. If Havoc was not the main villain of the season, they very much could have made Storm the main villain, or even the whole team, which is why I was super disappointed with how they ended it.
Now here's another thing about Storm being a villain. He's competent, he's skilled, and he's actually threatening as a villain.
This is another thing about Storm, is that he is actually a threatening and capable villain. From his badass mannerisms, his skillful abilities, to his smart intellect and quickly picking up being a Bakugan brawler, he's damn good. He became Havoc's right-hand man. He's shown he's a successful thief. Even Dan has praised him one time.
You're not bad.
And Magnus even has trouble dealing with him. A real important thing when being a villain is that you have to make them believable. Otherwise, you just expect a hero to easily defeat them and just go about your day. It wouldn't be exciting to watch. But with Storm, even though he is rarely used, he really comes off as a believable villain that I think could give our heroes a run for their money. I know this because every time he does appear, he immediately just steals the show. Whether he's clever, he's quick on the draw, or he's just really good, Storm has a very strong and demanding presence that only makes us want to see more of him. After being brainwashed by Havoc, he goes really crazy and his beliefs turn a complete 180, and honestly, Josh's performance when he turns into this complete Joker destroy everything persona, it just seems like he's having too much fun here.
I no longer need to steal. I need to destroy everything that creates true aesthetic beauty.
But everything that's described and everything just about him, Storm having this character flip, really just makes him a very good and interesting villain.
But this last point might make Storm seem kind of a bad character, but it's really interesting to touch on. It's that Storm is actually very mysterious.
His backstory is just never at all explained in the series, other than he's a phantom thief that achieved very high notoriety and that he's training Ajit. That's about it. But to this show's credit, they've written Storm in such a way that his backstory is left to the imagination. There are many times in the series where Ajit talks about Storm's kindness, his skills as a phantom thief. Mr. Gold captures him because of the reputation he has, a reputation that even helps Magnus solve the mystery of the randomly stolen objects in that one episode. Remember that? Storm's entire story and mythos is completely left to the audience's imagination, in such a way that it doesn't matter if they touched on it on the show or not. Every time Storm appears, there always seems to be a story behind him. Like when he and Ajit are captured by Mr. Gold, the facial animation he has always seems like there is an inner struggle within him. It's almost like Havoc doesn't have complete control over him. He's conflicted between bitter but pride over how much Ajit has grown, and when they team up to fight, it's joy over being able to fight beside the boy he raised like a son one last time before having to become enemies again. Though I would have loved that they did some episodes dedicating to explain Storm even further, I want to see how he became a Phantom Thief. I want to see who his master was, what kind of childhood he had. That would have been super cool to find out, even if it was only for like half an episode. But really at the same time, I honestly kind of don't. It's quite the paradox really when it comes to this series. It would be extremely hard to make a spin-off or prequel series about a person that looks very much on the older side and that had no interest in actual Bakugan before, only the artifacts and artwork that came with them. Since this franchise is called Bakugan, it would be extremely difficult to incorporate Bakugan into its past or even add anything new to it without retconning the current timeline. Still, I find the mystery and allure behind Storm to be quite amazing, and one of the things about his presence in the series that makes watching him really enjoyable. It may seem like it makes his character bad, but I think it's cleverly written in such a way that it strengthens his character and appearance. My overall analysis is that I wish they would have done more with Storm. He is such a strong, commanding character that I really think could have been used a lot more frequently. A truly underrated character with legendary status who, along with the rest of Team Havoc, didn't get the ending that they truly deserved when Armored Alliance finished. Maybe we can have a sequel spin-off series where we follow Storm's adventures and obtaining more artwork, or maybe later down the line we have Storm come back and do something with Ajit and the Awesome Brothers, like a family reunion or something like that. Touching up on this script, Storm really had such a lot of layers and depth into his character. Whether it was intended or not, I truly, genuinely feel that they wrote a really good character and has become super underrated in order to focus on the main story. But I hope that you enjoyed my explanation or my opinion on Phantom Thief Storm, a very amazing, deep, and unique character that I wish got more recognition and they would do more with. But let me know your thoughts on Phantom Thief Calloway Storm in the comments down below. But remember what Storm says.
Call me master.
Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I just want to wrap this up by saying that majority of you watching are not subscribed to this channel right now. So if you enjoy our content, please be sure to give us a subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss out on awesome Bakugan content. So thank you guys again for watching. That has been Calloway Storm. I've been Haru Ren, and thank God for Rapid Fire. Bye.